Hey guys, it's your best boxing friends. I'm Kelsey. This is Rachel, aka the Boxing Weirdos.
Why are we the boxing weirdos?
I know I was thinking about how everybody I ever encountered in life is pretty much a big weirdo, and I'm a big weirdo, and so we must be boxing's big weirdos. That means you're also a weirdo. I mean, you have to be a big weirdo to like really love seeing. Basically, if you think about what this is, these people like go down to this little cage thing, this little roped arena, and they take their shirts off and they fight each other with their fists. I mean, it's pretty absurd if you think about it. That being said, it's big business for a lot of people. Probably the richest boxer, or at least the most popular boxer right now, the biggest star in the sport in his prime, is Canelo Alvarez, who just won an ESPY for being the best boxer. I guess first of all, did you know they still give ESPY awards? Remember when that was a big deal?
Did you know that I hate ESPY awards?
Okay, I get it. I don't understand the point of them, and because
Here's the thing. Sports already has a system in place where people are awarded for winning.
Yeah.
So it's not like movies or music where you want to like identify like people that did well. Maybe their movie flopped, or whatever, but it was a really good movie. You want to recognize them. Even then we go overboard with it, right? But sports, we literally have a system in place where people are decided who is the best. We didn't need the ESPYs to tell us Canelo Alvarez was the best.
Not only that, but then within the specific cultures of the sports, you have organizations that give out, for example, in boxing, you have the Boxing Writers Association of America,
right?
Or even like Ring Magazine. You have all these other things that give out Fighter of the Year awards, stuff like that.
Yeah, Fighter of the Year is different than calling somebody best boxer.
Boxer of the Year. I got a best boxer. Is Canelo Alvarez the best boxer?
You could definitely argue that. Like
depends what you mean by best is.
Right, like you have to define the word best, but like you could argue that, before
he's
Canelo Alvarez, like what would you like? I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is I could see ESPN coming up with some winners for this category where I'd be like, what?
Well, yeah, it's basically to win this award, you have to be the best, most popular boxer, I think, without looking at past recipients. I imagine it's full of Manny Pacquiao's and Floyd Mayweather's, who also were the best.
Yeah, I get that too.
But at the same time, you're not really. I don't feel like was Alexander Usyk on your ballot list, or
but what are you doing different? You know what I mean? Than what the sport is already telling us.
Yeah.
You know what I like? I don't know. It seems odd to me. I hate ESPYs.
Well, we have something here called the Real Talkies, and the Real Talkies are for who the best boxer is in the world today. Rachel, who right now? I know you love to make lists. You love to define number ones, first of all, like the best. So I'm like, Rachel, what do you think the best this is or that is? And you're like, I think this is the best this, or that is the best that. This is a constant thing that we do. So Rachel, who do you think is the Real Talkies? Is that what I call the award? Real Talkies Best Boxer of the Year. Now, keep in mind that to be as confusing as possible, we're not talking about this year because it's July. We're talking about the fiscal year, which began July 1st of 2018 and ended June 30th of 2019. I really need a fiscal year thing. I've done a lot of reporting lately, not in boxing. It's been about casino earnings. Anyway, it's pretty boring, but all of them go off the fiscal year. So I'm all about fiscal years, baby.
I think, like, it's ridiculous. Like, boxing has so many different weight classes, and I think that I don't know, I think it's unfair because, for example, I can only pick based on, like, boxing that I watch.
Which is basically welterweight and above.
Right, I don't watch the lower weight classes, and people out there would say, hey, what's his face? Is it Inoue?
Inoue, yeah.
Is the best boxer out there.
Yeah, Inoue.
So, like, lots of people spend a lot of time putting effort into pound for pound list, and a pound for pound list is a great way to decide, like, outside of weight classes. Although I think it's fictional.
It's a perfectly meaningless way to spend your time. But what's not meaningless is probably the most prestigious award in the sport, the Real Talkies. Yeah. I'm going to give you the guy that I think deserves to be the best boxer award, or at least deserves the Real Talkies award. And that's Andy Ruiz, Rachel. Andy Ruiz was going to quit boxing because he was like, man, I lost my title shot by a decision. I feel like I won the fight. Top rank, I guess don't want me anymore, and now I'm going to sign with Al Heyman. Anyway, gets a big fight against Derevyanchenko. I don't know how to say his name. Shut up. Look it up. In BoxRec, he beat that guy to get the shot after Anthony Joshua's original opponent, Drew Miller, got popped for some PEDs. Andy Ruiz steps in, beats his ass, basically. Can I say that? Is this on live TV? I don't know how this works. Beats him up, takes the world title, unified world champion, and now gets to be the man. He's the man. He is the man right now. I love Canelo Alvarez, what he's done in the sport, but there's not a better feel-good story in the world today than Andy Ruiz. Not Anthony Joshua. It's not a feel-good story. He's a feel-bad story. It's really hard. I feel bad for Anthony Joshua to just like look like a model and to have all the physical gifts and all the money and fame. It's got to be really hard for him, huh?
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Look, the big news of the day, besides the ESPYs shenanigans, is that Andy Ruiz, you got to trust TMZ Sports, that's who comes up with this news, but Andy Ruiz said, hey, I ain't going over to England again to fight him, screw that. You know, like, I'm not dumb, and I love that. I'm paraphrasing him greatly here. But basically, that he's not going to fight him over there, and then, what's AJ's team going to do?
Yeah, he's a champ.
Andy's a champ. He can decide where he wants to fight. Where do you want to see him fight? I know that you probably would say,
well, can you imagine? Like,
I want him to fight in my backyard.
It was a huge upset if he went over to England to fight Anthony Joshua. Like, just given like the sport of boxing, if that were me, I would feel very uncomfortable with.
Well, because then
unless I'm gonna like
then
knock him out
instead of a one-on-one fight, it's 1-on-5. It's you versus him, the referee, and the three potential judges there.
And whatever the referee does, right? Like long counts, like I don't know. Yeah. I'm not saying any of that would happen,
but you would feel that maybe
I
would
could. If I were Andy, I would definitely be like, I want to stay here. I don't know. I think Andy Ruiz is from California. He should fight in California.
He's from California. He also has a Mexican heritage, so
yeah, and I think
maybe
there's
he can fight
a
in
huge
Mexico.
Well, I think there's a huge Mexican population in California.
You can fight in California or Texas. You can fight here.
I don't know. When I saw Andy Ruiz,
you can fight here.
No, stay income tax. When I saw him like talk after the fight and stuff like that, I don't know. It really seemed like a Californian to me. And so like I'm all for like a really big fight in California for this.
Is that like when he talked? Did you get the Beach Boys vibe? He's like, wouldn't it be nice to have some Snickers?
Not a Beach Boys vibe, but there is like, you know, like you have Mexicans from Texas, you have Mexicans from California, and there's a difference.
Yeah.
And when I saw Andy Ruiz, it very much seemed like he was from California, and I think that like he should, you know, capitalize on that and like do one out there. You know?
I think definitely shouldn't go to England. If I'm Andy Ruiz, I'm gonna have it in my backyard, or I'll meet you in New York again, where I won the fight. Right? Madison Square Garden is a historic venue. That also maybe could get in AJ's head a little bit and be like, remember last time you were here, fool? You saw them lights, you know? I mean, he got up, but still got knocked down probably like 6-7 times. I didn't count. But got beat up in that fight. Way too early prediction for the fight, Rachel. Let's say the rematch happens this year, as I think people expect it to. Who do you like and why? And how much money should we bet on it? Let's go ahead and assume we're betting $1 million.
No money bet. I don't know. That's really a tough thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. Because, like, there's part of me that wants to be reasonable, and it's like, you know what? It's likely that, no offense to Andy Ruiz, but that this was, he got his lucky, you know, it was his lucky night.
Lightning in a bottle.
Lightning struck, and Andy Ruiz won, and that it's not going to happen again, right? Yeah. Like, I feel like I had so many people telling me that Joshua, out of Fury, Wilder, Joshua was the top heavyweight. Joshua has the most skill. So like, if I listen to that, then it seems like he should be able to go back and make adjustments on how we can fight. And if there is a rematch, like, why would Andy Ruiz make any adjustments? Like, I feel like he doesn't have a reason to, and so he may not, and then he would suffer for that.
I would say that this is a very dangerous fight for Anthony Joshua. In the heavyweight history, if you think about David Price, he wasn't a heavyweight champion, but he was like, oh, this guy's going to be a heavyweight champion. He fought, what's this guy's name? I forget his name. I can picture him. He was talking about after he beat him, he talked about how, because he hadn't had sex in so long, that he was going to put his wife in a wheelchair. Remember? Tony Thompson!
Yeah.
All right. He fought Tony Thompson and got whooped, and then immediately rematched him and got whooped again. Just this year, Alberto Machado fought Andrew Cancio and got whooped. Fought a rematch very recently, within the last month. Got whooped again. Here's the thing about the fight is that this wasn't a one-punch knockout type thing. This was more like I'm the better fighter who lands harder, more telling blows often. That being said, watching the fight live when we're in the arena with my eagle eyes, my elf eyes from 7,000 feet away, and watching on TV, I would say that Joshua had the fight where he wanted it until he hurt Andy Ruiz and tried to finish him instead of sticking with the plan. I think in the second fight, he could stick more with the plan, which is keep the guy at the end of my 6-inch longer punches.
It seems like you should fight Ruiz like
Klitschko.
Vladimir Klitschko.
He needs to get Vladimir Klitschko in camp, or Jonathan Banks, or somebody that teaches him how to fight tall.
Yeah.
If you're the taller guy, fight tall.
Correct. What I do wonder, though, is something that you had brought up prior to this fight, when we were talking about the top 3 in this division, was maybe Anthony Joshua is too slow and doesn't move his head enough.
He doesn't move his head enough,
and is standing there ready for punches. And if you have openings, like you're a big heavyweight, right?
Yeah.
And if you're kind of slow, that means that there are openings. Andy Ruiz looked pretty fast. You know what I mean?
He never moved.
He got, like,
You're right.
I don't even know how somebody his size against Joshua, like, did what he did. Like, it's pretty, like, spectacular.
Really
and
fast.
then that makes me think, I don't know, you can't teach that. Like, Joshua can't, I don't know that you could fix that.
He does need to move his head more. We talked about this before. Before all this happened, we talked about how, when we were talking specifically in reference to him fighting Deontay Wilder,
right, like,
AJ doesn't move his head enough, and Wilder will find that chin.
Right, then he's...
And, yeah, he might not have ever gotten up. That's dark. That's dark.
Gosh.
I didn't mean that. You know what I mean? Wilder hits a lot harder than our friend Andy Ruiz.
Yeah.
He hits a lot harder than just about everybody, but he doesn't move his head enough. So, yeah, he's going to have to move his head more in this rematch with Andy Ruiz, and also in any potential future fight with
and I don't know
Wilder.
if fighters can really learn that in a span of, what, like 6 months, let's say? I know they do in movies, you know? Like...
yeah, in Creed 2. Bro.
Creed 2, or what was with Jake Gyllenhaal, Southpaw?
Yeah.
He went through
Complete
this, like,
different style.
crazy...
Rocky
like,
3.
Became, like, a whole new fighter. I don't know how often that happens in real life.
Yeah, it's not... I mean, it happens, though, right? Like, if you... Maybe not quite the same, but Vladimir Klitschko, when he first came up,
like,
was more like what AJ tried to do against Ruiz, was stand there, I'm the bigger guy, I'm athletic, because AJ's real athletic, I'm going to throw combinations, I'm going to get my stuff off. But then he got turned into the boxing robot that maybe 84% of the world hated, but was very effective and one of the longest reigning heavyweight champions of all time. Do you know the longest reigning Real Talk with Kelsey and Rachel show of all time is? It's this one.
Is it this one?
This is the only one called that. Sure, there are other Real Talks and other Real Talk boxings even, but there's not other Real Talk with Kelsey and Rachel, starring Kelsey and Rachel from Boxing's Kelsey and Rachel. You know, Rachel, every day somebody likes, comments, and subscribes. And so every day we have just another reason to live.
Gosh.
Like, comment, and subscribe. You have to.
Thanks for watching, guys. And we do appreciate when you like, comment, and subscribe because it helps the channel grow, and we appreciate that.